Hi. Thank you. Sudan has always cooperated with the UN since the 80s regarding a huge and great humanitarian efforts that has been unleashed on at that time. Sudan has already and continued to buttress and support and enhance its engagement with the UN, in particular to secure the delivery of the humanitarian assistance without impediments. Sudan has dedicated itself, and the Sudan government has committed itself by setting up a specific committee that is located now in Port Sudan, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and other relevant task force to facilitate the humanitarian assistance. We don't have any impediments, and we regret those who fell as humanitarians in Sudan, but Sudanese armed forces did not kill any humanitarian person. Regarding what has been rumored, that I stated in the Security Council just now that Sudan did not write an official memo to the UN or to the US regarding a specific position that Sudan is going to take. When the pen holder asked for 3 months as a special extension for UNITAMS, Sudan government top it up with 3 months, so it becomes 6 months. There is an issue everybody knows. Sudan officially wrote to His Excellency the SG to replace the special representative because of specific remarks that have been stated in the note. And we were astonished that for the first time since 1686, since the Westphalia Order and the relationship between the state and international relations, that Sudan has not been, this memo was not being receptive, and it has been lambasted in a manner that has touches us and has affected the sovereignty of Sudan, as the UN system is based on the sovereignty of states. So we just ask politely to replace the specific person regarding the leadership of UNITAMS. And we said we are ready to engage in connection with any future review, strategic review for the work of UNITAMS. I declare here that Sudan supports the work of UNITAMS. Sudan is not bargaining by threats or anything. We are not in a position of threats. Multilateral relations does not require threats. And we believe in the new roadmap that His Excellency the Secretary General has unleashed regarding the new peace agenda, and we committed by them. Let us not waste our time in this, in any unbased or unfounded statements or any position that is not accurate. We will not allow to poison the relation between Sudan and the UN. And Sudan is not a great power so that we can rig or we can intimidate the UN system. Thank you for this.
Ambassador, can we just clarify? Are you saying that the Sudanese government did not say that it would pull UNITAMS from Sudan if Volker Perthes addressed the council?
Listen, this is not a bargaining against Volker Perthes, with due respect to his person. We said, Sudan government, and we didn't write this officially. We get in touch when we heard that there are a possibility of the special representative to deliver a statement. We, as Sudan government, has decided their position from the special representative. And unfortunately, what happened. It has been declared as undesirable person. And the Secretary General, with due respect, he told me that please just go Sudan to getting in touch with Clementine. We received Clementine, and we consider Clementine as the deputy of Volker. We don't want to create a fuss out of nothing. We don't have any specific hostility towards Volker, but mind you, how can one state declare a specific person undesirable person, and you want to deal with him in the work and in the position that your government has declared his brokership as undesirable. So this is known in international law. This is not personal. Yes, if official positions are already carried and communicated with official notes and stamped, but we would not stop communicating in other means, personal or anything, to tell we are afraid if so and so happen, this might happen. But actually, we are not bargaining the work of UNITAMS. As I told you, they wanted 3 months, Sudan top it up with 3 and 6 months. But in the meantime, if you are telling me that Sudan going to maintain a working relationship with the special, the SRSG, no, Sudan will not maintain it.
And you mentioned foreign, in the council, you mentioned foreign influence in the conflict. Can you specify?
I mentioned foreign influence.
Can you tell us who that is?
I cannot specify states, but I said, in particular, we need a new perspective to understand what is going on in Sudan. Because the official perspective, which is the traditional one we saw, is scanty and insufficient. They still consider this conflict is an engagement, a ferocious military engagement between two military parties. This will not lead to any, shall I say, benign resolution of the conflict. This conflict is an intimidation supported by regional powers. And I mentioned in particular, one state has delivered around 6,000 fighters to fight against the Sudanese army. We also stated before, in a similar fashion, that this conflict is not bilateral or is not partisan. It has already involved demographic replacement of people. Sudanese people have been removed forcibly from their houses, and the fighters of the FRS with their militia, they get into the houses, occupy them, use the Sudanese as human shields. And this is a kind of a new replacement of the identity of the people. So we saw it. You will not convince me or any other rational position of understanding the conflict which is unfolding now in Sudan as that Sudanese armed forces is killing the citizens in quarter residential areas, or they are bombarding them. Sudanese people said they are committed to the Jeddah, engagement in 11 May, and they will support any regional, international, local initiative in order to strengthen the probability of peacemaking, because it develops a specific approachment. We don't see this approachment is yet there. And we don't want even the good offices of the Secretary General to stop at this stage, because we know the role of the regional international organizations, but it is not enough, because I don't want to mention states, but some approach was very rough and tough. They were not diplomatic in approaching their role, and although we accepted the initiative, but we indicated in a written statement that we would not accept the mediation of such and such person because of blah, 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 blah. So,
how do you respond to the U.S. accusation that you bullied Volker Perthes into not speaking?
Bullied who?
You bullied the special representative from not speaking before the council. How do you respond to that accusation?
I was not in touch with with Mr. Volker, and bullying, as it is a legal term, has not occurred. We are not criminals to bully people. But in fact, Sudan has been bullied. When you continuously say that this state has told you they lost their confidence in a specific person, and he cannot be an honest broker of the mediation in Sudan, where all possible success and elements of it were available, but the end was full war again. People has gone back, relapse into war. This is not.
By your government to block a speaker at the United Nations? There was no effort by your government to block
if there is any official statement, let them give it to you. There isn't. This does not mean that I speak to DPPA, people whom I know, and tell them, please, let us salvage the course of the relationship between Sudan and UN not to get bogged down and not to be involved in hostile bickering, which we do not need. Sudan needs the services of the UN, but they need the services of the UN according to its needs. And in this time, the particular thing is not the person of Volker. It's not an issue. Volker was a respectable person. He has been given the space that he wanted. He was active for 3 years. Unfortunately, we know that his efforts, we maintain them, we commend them, but unfortunately Sudan is fully back into war. So it means that there is something wrong. If people consider to say or to watch or to visualize this, to consider this is a struggle for power, masquerading under personal ambition is wrong. We see it as a different, this is a tragedy. This will, I think, affect the peace order of the international system that is we are now beholding. So if people and UN became passive onlookers, that to maintain the same perspective between Sudan government and those who willingly became rebellious and started not to kill military person whom they consider as hostile, started to kill these people, to destroy the banks, schools, hospitals, and to resort to the heavily, heavily residential areas, and to live there. And you can send anyone to Sudan. We will facilitate his visa to ask the Sudanese people in Khartoum and Durman, who is the main person who is your bête noire? They will tell you exactly. So what we want here is to clarify the exact perspective of the Sudanese episode so that we can easily target the loopholes and try to fix them. We are not calling for a quick fix that does not respond to the core causes of the conflict. But if you maintain that this conflict is a struggle for personal power, then you are mistaken.
ابتسام عازم العربي الجديد جريدة العربي الجديد تحدثتم أو السفيرة الأمريكية تحدثت عن أن بعثة السودان هددت بعدم تجديد لبعثة الأمم المتحدة إذا قام فولكر بورتيس بالحديث أمام مجلس الأمن. هل ممكن توضيح ما إذا حدث هذا؟ وكذلك تحدثتم في المجلس عن وجهتم إصبع الاتهام لدولة في المنطقة دون تسميتها فيما يخص بعث مسلحين 6000 مسلح بحسب ما قلتم. هل يمكن أن تشيروا لمن هي هذه الدولة والتوضيح؟ شكرا.
إذا عايزة تعرف الدولة أعطيني الوصف بتاعك، أنا برسل لك الفيديو اللي بيثبت لك إن الدولة. إحنا ما دارين نكشف عن أشياء في وقت غير مناسب. الشيء الثاني فيما يتعلق بطبيعة الصراع، وأنا وضحت الآن باللغة الإنجليزية إنه طبيعة الصراع ليس صراع تقليدي. هذه الحرب مفروضة على السودان، وأهل السودان أخذوا موقف منها، بمعنى إنهم هم بيدعموا مجهود الحربي والدفاعي للقوات المسلحة، لأنه لا توجد قوات مسلحة تشرع في تقتيل البشر أو الناس حبا أو شرها في القتال والحرب، وبالتالي يجب تصحيح مفهوم وسياق الأحداث الراهنة بأنها ليست صراعا من أجل السلطة بين جنرالين كما قال السيد فولكر من قبل، مع احترامي له، إن هذا السياق مضر ولا يوصل إلى نتائج. هذا الصراع هو يجب أن يفهم على أن هذا الصراع ليس يشتمل على الطرفين التي أو نظرية الطرفينية. ديز غلط. أنا ما أعتقد أن الصراع ده دخلت فيه عناصر خارجية وإقليمية تؤجج فيه. هناك دعم مستمر للمجهود الحربي للقوات الميليشيا المتمردة، هناك مناصرة بالسلاح وبالمؤن وبالعتاد الحربي لهذه المجموعة، هناك تشجيع لعناصر سكانية معينة للتحرك من دول بعينها في الغرب إلى الاستيطان في السودان، لأن المواطنين اضطروا تحت واقع الترهيب والتشنيع إنه يتركوا منازلهم، إما بقوة السلاح فورسبلي أو بالنأي يعني بحياتهم من الهجمات التي تكرسها الميليشيا المتفلتة. وبالتالي أي سياق آخر يفسر النزاع الحاصل في السودان الآن باعتباره هو نزاع فقط من أجل السلطة، هذا خطأ. هذا خطأ، لأن السلطة كانت مستتبة. إذا كان المكون العسكري، رئيس المكون العسكري نفسه، رئيس مجلس السيادة، في شهر 9 الماضي أمام الجمعية العامة وفي اجتماع أمام أمين عام الأمم المتحدة أكد إنه انتظروا المكون المدني 10 أو أكثر من 12 شهر عشان يجي يكونوا حكومة مدنية، وفشل المجهود بتاعهم. 2، هم ملتزمين بوعودهم على إنهم حيرجعوا للسكنات بمجرد ما تتكون حكومة مدنية ذات كفاءات عريضة القاعدة، لأنها عشان تحدث الاستقرار. لأنه أي حكومة صفوية نخبوية تقوم على مصالح معينة لن تؤدي إلى استقرار السودان. وقد كانت الحكومة مستمرة لمدة 3 سنوات في يد نخبة معينة.
الاتهامات الأمريكية التي كررتها السفيرة الأمريكية عندما خرجت من مجلس الأمن،
نعم.
حتى بعد ردكم داخل
طيب.
المجلس، هل قمتم بتهديد أو
بدي أسألك.
لا، أنا أسأل حضرتك، أنا هنا التي أسأل، أنا لا. هل قمتم بالتهديد بإنهاء مهام بعثة الأمم المتحدة في حال قام السيد فولكر بيرتس بتقديم إحاطة لمجلس الأمن؟
قلت لك.
هذا ما قالت السفيرة الأمريكية.
أوكي، ما برد عليك.
تفضل.
إذا عندهم رسالة أنا كتبتها، وده التواصل هنا المعتمد للحاجات الرسمية، نحن طلبنا لدى البعثة الأمريكية إنه يدرجونا كمتحدثين في الجلسة. ردوا علينا بإنه صح، أنتم طلبتوا بموجب المادة 37 39 حق الرد أو حق الاستجابة لبيانات الوفود، ولكن كتبوا لنا، والرسالة ممكن أنا أطلع عليها يعني، إنه هذا ليس ضمان بأنكم سوف تعطون الحق للمشاركة. تحت ضوء ذلك أنا أرسلت رسالة لليندا، لأنه متواصل معه، ممكن أقراها لك إذا بدك يعني. وبالتالي دي الرسالة اللي أنا بعتها لليندا، وهي ليندا أنا أحترمها وأحترم تراثها وماضيها العريق ومحبتها أيضا للسودان ولقائي بها المتواصل. حتى أنا بقرأ لك الرسالة كلها 5 أسطر بتقول إيش؟ Linda Greenfield. Okay. Honorable Linda, hope you are fine and in good health. As the U.S. is proponent for the SC open meeting concerning Sudan, would you please confirm to me if you are intending to enroll Sudan in the list of speakers for tomorrow? We submitted a request for participation, but we are told that Rule 37 and 39 don't automatically confirm participation in this particular meeting. May I know in advance if we will take part and respond to the statements made by the SC members concerning the situation in Sudan? Kind regards. This is exactly what I wrote. She told me Sudan is on the list of speakers under Rule 37. But what we received in writing, and we had a copy of it, they did not clear this, did not clarify this. This did not, okay, this might not maintain Sudan's participation. This is why I resorted to her, and I told to her, thanks, Honorable Linda. We thought of explaining the Sudan's official position to the SC after a lapse of time. This should make the session more informative. Thank you for your cooperation. That's all. This is the
So to clarify, you're saying that Sudan is against Volker Perthes remaining in that job.
Sudan
but
what?
You're against
Yes.
Volker Perthes
Yes,
staying
apparently.
in that job, but you did not threaten to withdraw.
And I don't want you to
To
waste
kick
your
the
time.
UNITAMS
I don't
out.
want
I
you
just
your
wanna make
time
sure
to
I'm
investigate, to
characterizing it
personalize.
properly.
We do respect the person and the experience and the scholarship of Volker Perthes. Volker Perthes, whenever he comes here, we used to meet, to maintain, and I cooperated with him fully. Until he came last time, we were in good terms. I did not utter any hostile statement against Volker Perthes, but Volker Perthes, in his position that you know, he stated publicly in a Jazeera station, in Jazeera, he said that Sudan government, the existing Sudan government, is incapable of, maintaining the unity of Sudan, and Sudan government lost its trust with the regional actors or regional countries or the neighborhood countries. And I wrote to His Excellency, the Secretary General, telling him this is real politicking, and please use your good offices to salvage the legacy of Sudan and UN from being trapped into a hostile bickering. And this is your role here, and we rely on you. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. So let's not waste the time in trying to personalize the things. I didn't say anything hostile against Volker, although he openly stated hostile statements. And when we asked them, they said the UN is neutral. They should not take position. We understand it. But this is a clear position for everybody who knows politics. When he say and demonize a government with whom that he himself was cooperating for 3 years. Nothing happened in the Sudan government since, and he was even trying to mention in his reports, lambasting statement against the government. Nobody told him that you are this or that, nobody. But actually,
may I just ask you, clearly there are differences, big differences between the UN and Sudan. In your view, or in Sudan's view, what exactly would you want from the UN? What role do you think would be most helpful for the UN to help resolve this crisis?
okay, take this example, for example. Take this example. When Mali, Minister of Foreign Affairs, came here to the Security Council and he asked the Security Council to terminate the mandate of MINUSMA, which is 15,000 soldiers. And it is a peacekeeping force. What happens? They terminate it immediately. When Sudan honorably deliver a note verbal to the UN asking her, because of the existing tension existing between your SG and the government, because of the loss of trust, would you please kindly replace him? And this is a right for states to do, because the states doesn't want to waste their time. They need at least the strategic targets and objective delineated in the Sudan government memo submitted to the SG in 2021. There are 8. And I always, when I get in touch with SG and the relevant departments of peace building and political affairs, let us sit down and try to review, to make a review of the strategic objective to see which objectives that have been executed and which impediments, so that we can make this strategic review. It was not made. So I was in touch with Dr. Rosemary. Please hurry up, go to Khartoum, try to engage, because I know that there is a stressful relationship that may harm the steady relationship between Sudan and the UN, which I don't want it to happen as a PR. So whatever we did, we are still positively waiting to engage with the UN. I'm not blaming the UN. The UN has did well in the past. The UN is continuing to do its utmost effort in a very difficult situation. The Secretary General has said UN will not abandon Sudan, and we appreciate this. We are in touch with OCHA. We had already, in the few months, we have already executed more than 581 operations, and we have the record of this, and it reached their destinies and the needy persons across Sudanese states. So we are not making any impediments or setting any impediments to forestall the smooth delivery of the humanitarian assistance. Not at all. Not at all. God bless you. Thank you.